Hey, good morning. Today we're going to talk about the order of operations. And before we do that, we need to discuss some of the vocabulary and what it means to use the order of operations. The order of operations in math refers to the order in which we perform different math operations. So, in ABCs, we put things in ABC order. When we put things in numerical order, we put them in order from least to greatest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, this is the order in which we sequence our operations. And when we talk about operations, we're talking about such things as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and exponents. So before we go any further, let's remember that there are different ways that we can show the operation for multiplication. Sometimes we use a multiplication dot. Sometimes we put a number next to another number in parentheses, and that means that the two numbers are multiplied together. It's a shortcut for showing that we multiply. All right, let's talk a little bit about parentheses. We use parentheses in language arts. It's kind of to provide like a side note in a sentence, or to clarify something in a sentence, or to explain something in a sentence. But in math, we use a parentheses to group numbers, or to group an operation that we want done, or a sequence that we want done. So a parentheses is called a grouping symbol. So if I put something in parentheses, say if I put 3 plus 2 in parentheses, that means that action goes together. And I'm going to do what's in parentheses first when I do my order of operations. So a parentheses is a grouping symbol. Remember, if I put a number outside a parentheses, I'm going to multiply everything inside the parentheses by whatever's on the outside of the parentheses. So 1 plus 3 is 4, right? Because we do what's in parentheses 4 first, and then we multiply that by 2. So whatever's in parentheses is multiplied by whatever's outside the parentheses, if there's no symbol. If I have a parentheses that looks like this, and let's say I put a 1, if there's a symbol between the number and parentheses, then you don't multiply. You do whatever that symbol tells you to do. Oops, I forgot the other side. So we would do 2 plus 4, which is 6, and then add 1 to it. All right, so we've learned about operations. We've learned about parentheses. Let's talk about exponents. We've already learned about exponents, but you need to make sure you remember what they are when you go into order of operations. An exponent contains a base and an exponent. The base is the larger number, and the exponent is the smaller number. And the exponent tells the base what to do. So in this case, the exponent is telling the base to multiply itself twice, because exponents are always multiplication, repeated multiplication. So in this case, 4 to the third power would be 4 times 4 times 4. And we can certainly use a calculator to figure that out. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. And remember, exponents can give us a big number really fast. So we've learned about the order of operations, we've learned about parentheses, and we've learned about exponents. Sometimes we refer to the order of operations as pemdas, which is just a way to help us remember the different operations. Some people call say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, using the first letter of each word. Please for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. But you have to do PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, to help us understand what order I do the operations. So since parentheses come first, I always do what's in parentheses first, no matter where it is in the problem. And then I do my exponents. So I solve my exponents, find the value of them. I multiply or divide from left to right, just like you read from left to right. And you add and subtract from left to right. I'm going to show you one example. So parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract, left to right. So here's an example of a problem using PEMDAS. You always start with a P, but we look down and there are no parentheses. So we move to exponents. So we move over to this 4 to the second power. And that is solved as 4 times 4 is 16. And then I bring down the rest of the problem. So now I have a new problem, 25 minus 16 plus 3 times 4. Order of operations says we multiply next. So I skip the subtraction and addition and I go over here to multiplication. So 3 times 4 is 12. So my new problem is 25 minus 16 plus 12. Start over again. My next operation is add, subtract. And add, subtract is in order from left to right, just like addition is, just like multiplication and division is left to right. So that means it's okay to subtract first. So 25 minus 16 is 9. And then my last operation is to add the 12 to the 9, and my final answer is 21. Here's something you need to understand. A basic function calculator does not know the order of operations. So just because you put it in a calculator does not mean you get the right answer. You may have to put it in the calculator one step at a time, just like we worked it out one step at a time. Okay, that is a basic introduction to the order of operations. And I'm going to need you to watch this video 3 times. Okay, I need you to watch it 3 times. And then I'm going to give you some questions to answer. All right, talk to you later. Bye.